Hey guys, Kiwi here. In this video, I'll be breaking down and analyzing the main title theme during all the episodes of The Walking Dead, along with how the music plays a large role in it all. With that being said, warning of spoilers for everything in the show up to the most recent episode, Season 8, Episode 8, and let's jump right into this. Now, recently the show's been getting quite a lot of negativity around the recent character that they've killed off, along with the recent flaws of the show due to the obvious lack of budget. I wanted to take a breather from all that for just one video as we take a look at a key aspect of the show throughout its entirety that you may not even really notice, which is when the show fades into the intro sequence for any given episode.
Let go of me! No! Let go of me! No!
So, while surfing through the Walking Dead subreddit a few weeks ago, I came across this post titled "About the Main Title Theme," created by user CarlX4. The post starts out saying, "I was thinking that they used to make the most out of the main title theme, blending the music with the previous scene to create some sort of tension." And then there's a quote here which apparently the composer of the show once said. It repeats over and over, and in fact in the pilot episode, you hear it before the main title begins, and this is something that continues episode to episode, he explained. You hear the main title music before the main title begins, so you know it's coming. And then the post has a great example of this from Season 3, Episode 11, and I'll get into that scene specifically a little bit later on in the video, but the post concludes by saying they don't do it anymore, which sucks. Did anyone else notice this? So after seeing this post, I became extremely interested in this little thing that the show used to do all the time with their intros, where you can hear the main title theme before the actual intro theme starts playing during the beginning of any given episode. So I went back and checked on a bunch of episodes from every season of the show, first starting out with the earlier ones, along with the most recent seasons as well. I'll throw up a clip from one of the old episodes as an example here, as there are many good examples of this.
He thinks you just murdered them.
No, man, I don't care what he thinks. Why would I think?
was handling it, brother.
I was handling it. You just went ahead and had us out in those woods looking for a little girl that every single one of us knew was dead. That's what you did.
Rick, you just as delusional as that guy.
Handling it, huh?
Now, hearing the main intro theme creep up on you just gives you the chills as it builds up anticipation for the rest of the episode, and if used correctly, it can be a brilliant touch on an already great episode. Whether it's used alongside a conversation, like Rick and Shane talking on the farm in Season 2, or if it's foreshadowing what's to come as we see characters walking towards or away from an objective, like when Michonne and Andrea saw that helicopter in Season 3, it really complements the conclusion to the introduction of the episode, if that makes any sense. Personally, I love a good audio transition. I just get some sort of satisfaction where I hear a song perfectly fade in or fade out, along with one song transitioning into another, whether it's on a TV show, a movie, a video game, or if I'm listening to like an electronic mix of music that's like a half an hour long. I really do appreciate the subtle talent that is transitioning. Now, in the quote from the composer, he mentions that this happens in the pilot episode, and so sure enough I looked it up, and you can hear the intro theme playing as Rick shoots the zombie girl in the first episode of the show, but it was very faint. Sometimes when the intro song slowly fades in as it leads up to the actual title theme, it only starts out just a few seconds beforehand, while other times it takes up to a full 20 seconds or so as it finally leads into the intro title sequence. They used it a bunch in seasons 1 to 3, and it was very predominant. It was a really interesting feature that just simply fit well. It wasn't used every single episode, but when it was, it really helped put me in the mood to just watch the show. Seasons 4 to 6 still use this, but less and less, and instead of always doing that or just jumping right into the intro, they started creating these like loud noises that would just build up leading into the theme song instead. Season 7 kept this idea of just having loud sounds build tension into the episode intro, instead of actually having that classic 10 to 20 seconds of lead-up music. We still see the lead-up used in a few moments like 7:04, 7:09, 7:11, and 7:14, but they were way more quiet and only lasted a few seconds. Now, jump forward to Season 8, the show hasn't used this feature at all. With all the references to earlier seasons in Season 8, you'd think that they'd include this as one of those subtle hints at nostalgia, but it's nowhere to be found in the first half of the season. Did they just forget about this entire aspect? Each episode just uses the loud noise buildup instead of the actual song itself, and I find that a bit disappointing. In episode 801, Rick opening his eyes would have been a great moment to have this, or even Jadis telling Rick after in episode 807, time for after. As I said, it's not necessary for them to use it every single episode, but in my opinion, I wish that they'd use it more. Now, a prime example of a moment that they could have used was Father Gabriel talking about getting Negan's confession in Season 8, Episode 5. It would have been a million times better with the intro music leading up to it, at least in my opinion. When I saw this scene for the first time, it was fairly obvious that it would lead up to the intro, as the camera slowly zooms in at Gabriel, and I was almost expecting the music to play, but it didn't. The episode intro was a long one in episode 805 due to all the Gregory flashbacks at the sanctuary, so it just would have been nice to finally get that proper build up into the intro theme, but it seems a bit abrupt the way they mixed it in there with Father Gabriel, as it just kinda creates a loud noise and then goes into the intro.
Maybe this is the reason.
What?
I think I'm here to take your confession.
I believe that the example given in the original Reddit post is one of the best examples I've seen, so let's just go with that one. Take a look at this intro scene for Season 3 Episode 11 of Carl talking to Rick at the prison, and just listen to when the music starts and the theme just kinda subtly starts playing in the background. Now, take that and imagine the same thing, but with Father Gabriel talking to Negan instead. It would have just been so much better to have that lead up, because as Eugene would say, that sort of thing just kinda cranks my shaft. Now, I can't actually show the full clip in this video because the clip is like 1.5 to 2 minutes long, and I can only show up to 30 seconds due to fair use and all that, so go ahead and check out the Season 3 Episode 11 introduction scene. I'll put the link in the description, but it's also linked on the Reddit post. Just go check it out. It's a great example. The Season 2 premiere is a great example again, but this is the one I'm going to be using just because it really got to me and it really convinced me that this was an amazing thing that they used to do, and I really wish that they did it more often nowadays as well.
Let Herschel and Daryl handle things. They deserve a rest.
The intro to episode 311 shows Carl as he walks up to Rick and pretty much tells him that he should stop being the leader. It's a touching moment and it's really nostalgic, and it just gives me those classic Walking Dead vibes. Now, feel free to check out the Reddit post for yourself. I'll leave the link in the description, as the comments on the post made quite a few good points. One person mentioned that it was always such a nice feeling hearing the music play before the actual credits started. It's kind of boring and not intense now, as it just jumps straight into the credits, and then someone just simply points out how the theme slowly getting louder and louder just gets you hyped, and I really do agree. What do you guys think about this aspect of the show? Have you ever noticed it before, or is me mentioning it the first time that you've really taken notice of it? Feel free to leave any other great examples of this in the comment section below, along with any other moments in the show that should have used this trick but didn't. I'd appreciate a like on the video if you've enjoyed anything I've said today, or even subscribe for more Walking Dead Season 8 content in the near future. If you'd like to take that extra step in helping support my videos, consider going and checking out my Patreon, where there's a bunch of different rewards involving the channel, such as a chance to directly influence the videos being produced. It isn't necessary by any means, but it could really help in the long run, especially with the whole Adpocalypse deal. But as always, I thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.
If not for Otis, I'd never made it out alive. And that goes for Carl, too. It was Otis. He saved us both. And he did that for Ed, meaning it was his.